What's up, champions?
Hi guys.
Welcome back to our show. Today joining me Julien from Fliteboard. He just set his world record to the fastest Fliteboard run. So welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks Mike. Everything's good. It's good to be in Portugal.
You just had a great session in Super Tubos.
I did. It was amazing. It's really good weather here. And it really helps, demonstrate how fliteboarding is a winter sport too.
So today Julien is going to share his tips and tricks on how to improve your experience with Fliteboard. So let's start with carrying the board. It's really heavy and cumbersome. So what are the best tips and tricks on how to carry the board? So
the board does have a bit of a weight to it. The e-foil, the battery, and the board. You want to carry the board and the battery separately, and you can carry it a couple ways. You can carry it on your hip. You can carry it over your shoulder with your hand not letting the mass dig into your shoulder, or putting it into the car. You just take a little time, or if you have somebody with you, do it with a friend. Make it easy. Everybody does want to help you do it, so let them help. So I always carry it like this. I'll just put it up on my hip. So it's mostly this that's working. What I'll do is, if I carry it like this, I can then switch my hand here, and then really maneuver it, and then put it into the back of the truck like that. But I mean, it is heavy for one person's arm. You can show it doesn't hit my shoulder if my hand's right in the pocket, so my hand isn't letting the board dig into my shoulder. So you can hold it like that.
All right.
People who use normal hydrofoils, I think they carry it like this. But this is back. It's a heavy back, so I don't understand that. They'll carry it like that, but it's kind of, I don't know, cumbersome on the back.
Do you really unscrew the e-foil every time of the board, or you keep it together?
I don't. I always keep the e-foil onto the board. When I get home and I'm washing it down and I know I'm not going to use it for a couple days, then I'll disconnect it and make sure it's all clean. But a lot of the time I like to just keep it all together. If it can fit in your car, I suggest you do that. Okay,
let's talk about the riding techniques. So how did you achieve the maximum speed? What settings did you use?
Okay, so the maximum speed, I was on a level a 0 shim. So that's the flattest one we offer. So the shims are different angles on the back stabilizer wing. The back stabilizer wing has 2 screws, and between the screws and the wing you have a shim, a plastic shim that we include in the board. You have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they all have just a different angle of attack on the wing. This angle changes the sensitivity, the riding style, the front foot pressure, and the overall speed performance of the board. The higher you go, like a level 5, which will turn the front of the wing lower, it will bring, let's say, the force with more nose pressure. So if you have a 0 shim, it'll have less nose pressure, and you'll be able to go faster without the board wanting to lift up out of the water.
So use 0, right?
Yeah. If you want to go fast, go at a lower setting. If you want to have a better learning experience for your first time or your friend's first time, do a higher setting. A level 3. A 3 is a good start. Depending on someone's weight, you might want to go maybe one higher. Try and get really up at the front, and maybe do a nose ride, maybe go level 5 shim to play around with that. I think we can see Simon in the video.
And on the remote control, which setting do you put?
Okay, so the remote control, when I was going fast, I was on a level 0 shim. I had the flyer wing. I did have the longer mast, the 75 centimeter mast, and I wasn't using the Pro board. I was using the normal 99 liter board that we offer. I just kept going up in speed little by little until, and I kept adjusting my weight depending on the speed, because the faster you go, the more lift you end up getting, and you might have to inch your way little by little towards the front of your board. Every time you go up a speed, it'll want to lift up, and then it will restabilize.
There we go. 45. Let's go 45. Yes! How can we go really faster?
So what speed did you get, and what setting did you put?
So I was going as fast as I could. So I was climbing the speeds 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and I can see my speedometer going 38, 39, 40. I know I'm in the 40s and I'm getting fast. And at that point, you don't really look at your controller anymore. You're trying to make sure whatever's in front of you has a, it's not too choppy, and you can continue on. You adjust where you're I was sitting at the time. I was adjusting where I was sitting, and then you look back at your controller. You see 43. That was my record 2 weeks before, and I was like, I don't know, I don't think I'll ever beat that. And that was at level 18. And this time I was going a little bit downwind, so I didn't have a lot of chop right in front of me. I kept going level 17, 18. I think you see 19. I'm on level 19, and I hit 45.3. And that was amazing. That was amazing.
That was scary.
I didn't get to level 20. As soon as I hit level 19, you're going I don't know how many meters a second, but you're getting so much distance in that little amount of time, and then it got too choppy to where it was comfortable going faster. So if you're gonna go fast, don't do it in something really really choppy, because if you're afraid, don't pass your limits. It was a little too windy for me to do it standing. I did after I did that speed run, I was like, I need to go try it standing, because it's not fair. Yeah, so I kind of went into a pocket of where I was, and I got to like 41 standing, but with just a little bit of chop and wind resistance. As soon as I felt uncomfortable, I was like, oh, I'm gonna let go a little bit of the gas, and I'll let go a little bit of the throttle, and turn the levels back down to where I was comfortable again.
So here we got little nice waves. So how about using Fliteboard in the waves?
So Fliteboard isn't really meant for waves, but it can still perform in them. You don't want breaking waves like you can see out there. You want long rolling waves, really fat, really wide, nothing that's going to crash on white water. And the way it works with waves is you can just go on a very small speed and then catch the energy from that. You go in cruise control on level 2, 3, or 4 out of 20, and keep the controller by your side, and then take the waves energy like that, and your efficiency level on your controller will go way down, and you can actually see that while you're riding. And but if you are in the waves, you really need to take your time, go step by step, little by little. You don't want to have an accident. Mike was telling me that some guys do use a leash. If you do use a leash, you got to be very cautious that the board does weigh about 25 to 30 kilos. That's something that could potentially break your leash, and then also your leash, you don't want the rope to get into the propeller. So that's some things to consider, that if you're going to go in the waves, not just have a leash, but have a buddy with you. Have somebody with you, watching
just to look over.
Yeah, just to look over.
All right. And speaking of tricks, with also amazing jumps by Simon.
Yeah.
How did he attach all those straps?
So we can all see on the pictures, Simon did put straps on them. He did not drill holes into the board. I'm not going to tell you where he put them, because everybody's asking, but that would depend on your weight and where you are. He put some stick-on straps actually, and it's all stick-on. So he removed some bit of
rubber.
Some bit of foam, the grip, and then put some straps on. I mean, you can see in the videos. I do not recommend doing it if you have not had more than, let's say, 50 hours on the board. You really want to know where your footing is on whatever comfortable shimmy you're on.
Yeah. Okay, finally let's talk about Fliteboard App.
So the Fliteboard App is going to be on iOS, and then soon on Android after that. The Fliteboard App is really great because you can upgrade, not just upgrade, I'm talking about updating your firmware on your efoil, your battery, and your hand controller. It'll also enable you to read the GPS tracking of your last ride and your older rides. So you'll have a ride history, and you're going to see how long your session is and where you were over the water, and where your adventure has taken you.
Okay, and finally, what's new coming to Fliteboard?
So what's new is we have our jumbo wing. It's a larger version of the cruiser wing and the stabilizer wing, and that's going to enable you to ride the board a little easier, even easier for schools and beginners. So it gives you a little more of a forgiving space to where you can put your feet on the board, and that will enable people who didn't even think they could ride the board. It makes it easy for anybody.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
All right, I wish you a successful year, and let's keep riding.
Let's keep riding, Mike.
Yeah, thank you for coming.
Thank you, Mike.
Yeah, cheers.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.
Woo!